Hey YouTube, what's going on? Chris here. Wanted to bring you guys a Litecoin update, and we're going to go in a little deeper than what I was talking about in my car there. If you guys haven't seen that video, go ahead and look at the one that was before this. I was talking about the Wicks and what was coming in and Fridays and all different types of things for Litecoin. So it is some good information, guys. It's only about a minute 45, something like that. But it just I'm talking to you in that video about this Wick right here. Do you see this one, guys? So when I'm going at the job that I have now, guys, my own business, I go to people's houses and I also have a gym. So I'm having clients back and forth at people's homes, and then I'm also having people out of my house. So I was driving back home from a client's house, and I had a quick break before my client came to my house to work out at my gym, my next client. So I ran inside quick, and all of a sudden I see this huge spike. And you see it here, guys. I was seeing it in white. I mean, this thing went from $41 or whatever all the way up to, when I saw it, it was probably around $43.76, somewhere in there. And even myself, because I had this trend line drawn here on the 1 hour chart, I said, oh man, I didn't have time because my client was coming and they're number one priority. And I was like, oh man, should I buy them quick, and then hopefully after the session I'll have a quick moment, I can maybe sell them if things aren't looking too good. And I'm glad I didn't. I just said, nope, I'm not going to FOMO into anything. I want to see what's happening. This is only the 1 hour chart. You're making your trades off the 1 day chart in terms of if I'm going long on something for real, unless I'm just in scalp and messing around trying to learn stuff, doing really small trades. But I said, no, don't do it. Don't do it. So I ran down, traded my client, came back up. Take a look at this, guys. I mean, this is insane. That's in 1 hour that happened, and they're liquidation hunts where it's hunting guys out, and guys are getting liquidated, then it's coming back down. These whales will throw money in and then pull it right back out after everyone just bought in and wanted to ride it up. That's why trading breakouts, they're dangerous. Guys, 1 second, let me grab a sip of water. Trading breakouts can be dangerous because you have all those false breakouts and everything like that. We want to wait for confirmation. But you see what's interesting in this as well. I feel as though wicks are very important. They'll tell you the story on a lot of things, but I like going off the closes, the real bodies. And isn't this interesting how this happens, guys? Take a look. So this closed right here, right at that resistance, and this wicked up almost to where this wick was. So we were trying to get over top here. We saw rejection, and our rejection pushed us down to where this is right here, even with that. And now what happened was we got pushed down even farther, and we closed below this 200-day moving average on the 1 hour chart. And then we got pushed back up, and now we've been underneath the 20 EMA, and the 50 and the 200-day moving average are basically kissing right there. So we're wedged in between. So we're almost looking for another break here. We're going to see what happened. So we had a break out of this trend line, and then overall we wicked up to here, and then we came back, essentially tested this trend line down here with this wick. And now we're trapped in between these moving averages, and we're moving sideways. We're going to have to see what happens. If we're going to break up, and we're going to come back up, and we're going to test this right in that area, or if we're going to break down and test this trend line again that I had. So now what we're going to do, guys, and the RSI here was at 49. And another reason why I didn't take it was due to the fact I draw trend lines and everything on my RSIs, and we didn't break it on the RSI, which was important. We bounced right off, and then we came back down. You see we had that retracement back down into here. So let's clear that off. What we're going to do now, let's step out on the 1 day chart. I want to talk about how we closed yesterday. Remember I was saying potential doji, where we're going to see the doji coin. And what we ended up having was a little bit bigger of like a spinning top candle. Some guys would treat this as a doji. I'm more of the fact that the dojis that I've studied, like from the Japanese candlestick charting book and all that, you hardly want to see anybody in here. I know there can be the little brick, so we'll call that, guys. We'll say it's the doji, or like a larger spinning top candle. And now what we're having here, if this were to close like that, would be an inverted hammer candle. Because what we're assuming is this would be the bottom of this retracement. So we had this push up, we got rejected at the 200-day moving average, we got pushed back down, we wicked to what would be this support where I had my alarm at. You guys can see where my alarm is at. I wanted to Want to see what's going on when it hit that price. And now we have put in this doji candle and we're moving up, and you're seeing this inverted hammer candle, which, yes, you're seeing that rejection where we tried to push up. That's that wick, and then we got rejected. All right, but this is still, if we were to close here, obviously our close today would be higher than our close yesterday, and we'd have to see what's going to happen tomorrow. You know, is this that bull flag? I don't know. I'm not going to say, because things can change so fast. It can be a textbook bull flag and all of a sudden it turns into a BART pattern. So, you know, in this market, anything can happen. You know, I like to go off the textbooks, but when I'm talking to you guys, I'm letting you know anything can happen in this space. That's why I'll never call myself a cryptocurrency expert, ever, because it changes too fast. The market moves all over the place. In terms of, you know, what the book says and everything, yeah, I want to be an expert that way, and I know that it'll help and it'll benefit me, but I don't think anyone can master cryptocurrency with the way this moves and the fake outs and the, you know, the BART patterns and everything else that take place. A lot of it's not textbook. So, you know, there is fundamentals that play a factor, there's technical analysis, price action that plays a factor, and then there's also just, you know, insiders. I guarantee you there were a lot of guys who knew that Bitcoin was it wasn't just going to be a pullback and we were going to be entering a long-term bear market, and they took short positions, and it was as huge a gains as people who were riding it up in 2017. That's what you got to get through your mind, is whether it's going down or whether it's going up. If we learn how to trade, all we need is that volatility, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And that's what's so cool, because you kind of put the market in your hands. As opposed to, if you're just hodling or whatever, then you're at the mercy of the market. Anything can happen. You could wake up tomorrow and Bitcoin could be at $500. Or you could wake up tomorrow and it could be, you know, it could run up probably to that $5,000 in a night. But, you know, we have to be prepared. We need to study these things, and we need to work as a group, like how you guys will leave me that stuff, and, you know, are you seeing this, seeing that? That helps. So I want to congratulate each and every one of you for all the hard work that you guys have put in as well. But getting back to this here, now Litecoin on the 1 day, we're at 41.62 right now. We're up 1.66%, and we're still respecting this trend line, which is great. We're still up above it, guys. We're up above the 20 EMA. We're up above the 50 moving average. And let me get this trend line that I had from the 1 hour chart off there. So that's what we're looking at in terms of the pattern formation. And what I did for my Fibonacci here, this is where I started it, guys. I started my fib right here. We had this nice fall that came down. Then we basically had this hammer candle. There's a little wick on top, but I took it from this run, this movement from here. Okay, so this was my low, and I took it to the high. And that's putting us at a doji where we wick through the 0.382, and now we're floating in the 0.382 channel and the 0.236. Right in that channel. We're going to have to see what today brings. If today is going to bring a higher close than this doji candle, which would be wonderful, or if we're going to come up here and we're going to attempt that 0.236 at 42.94, we're going to do that, or are we just going to roll over, and are we going to lose the 0.382 and come down here and test this 20 EMA at the 0.5 at $38.27? That's a possibility. You know, this 50 is still a possibility, and also this trend line is a possibility. Like I said before in a couple of my last videos, my hearts of hearts, I feel like this here, especially with this 20 EMA, the 0.5 around that $38 to $36 right here, this range. This is what I'm looking at in terms of going long on Litecoin. And I would still have to see what the volume's looking like, what everything else, what Bitcoin's doing before I would do that. But that's my area. And you guys know I share my targets with you on a lot of things. So I'm not your financial advisor. This is what I do. And remember, guys, I can be in and out of things. I'm moving in and out if something doesn't look good. So it's completely different than what someone may do if they're buying here and trying to hold for the rest of the, you know, potential bull market whenever it comes. So once you keep all that stuff in mind, that's what we're looking at right now. We're going to have to be patient. We're going to have to see if this 0.382 around $40.36 is going to hold, or if we're going to drop down lower to that 0.5 around that $38.27. So, you know, guys, those are the things that I'm watching. You could also kind of see this channel here that's been formed. Let me get the Fibonacci off here quick. let's see. So if we're going off real bodies, we'd have that there. Let me lower this one here. Now I can see a little bit better. So we could be looking at that channel there where we had this drop and then we didn't make it. Came back down up here, came back down, traveled along this trend line. You know, this is a pretty strong trend line so far. Blasted up, and we made a higher high, obviously, which is great. And then now we're trying to find that higher low as well. And that's how the trend changes: higher highs, higher lows. And before we were having lower highs and lower lows. And then there's that switch right there. You see that? It got over top just barely over this wick, and that was the higher high. Then we came back down here, higher low, higher high. We had a higher low here, then we just moved sideways. Higher high. Now we're going to see where this, if we're going to set that higher low and see what happens for Litecoin. But a lot of good things happening, guys. Just wanted to bring this quick to you. I apologize for doing some rambling or whatnot, letting you in to my life a little bit. But, you know, these are things I'm looking at. This is what I'm paying attention to. And, you know, I think being more cautious in the market is always a safer thing to do than being more reckless. You know, I'd rather miss out on a trade and it pass me by than get wrecked. So that's just me. But you all can do whatever you want to do. It's just me. God bless each and every one of you.